Welcome back to episode number 3 of the Hats Off podcast. We are here with our usual hosts, plus a special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Is that me? That's a special guest here?
Yes.
Oh, well. Do I have a nickname, or am I just going to go by your pops, man?
What's your golfing nickname? You can use
that.
that.
Man, Harry McKnickers. There you go. That's all me, baby.
So you got Liam, Noah, and Harry McKnickers, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Not to be confused with anything else.
Yeah, no, we gotta make sure to pronunciate that right.
Knickers. Knickers. Anyway, so this week is Hereditary, and last week I was a little scared. I'm not a big fan of horror movies, but
it's not really a horror movie.
It wasn't really a horror movie. It was more suspense.
It's like a psychological.
It's a psychological thriller.
It was definitely a psychological thriller.
Yeah.
So that's a movie I gotta see more than once.
Yeah.
To really grasp it.
It'll definitely leave you. And spoiler alert, since it's only been out for 2 years.
Yeah.
But just, yeah, definitely spoilers. We didn't do spoilers for the last two because they're 10 years old. You should have seen them by now. But 2-year-old movie. We'll get you some spoilers.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the ending will make you sit there and really scratch your head for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Really kind of just sat there for.
I have to like look up, like read the ending, just like to understand what happened.
I got the gist of it.
I missed a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really understand it, but we can get into that.
Did you miss it, or you weren't paying attention?
Like a little bit of both.
All right.
Yeah.
But by that point, were you like tired of it? Because
honestly,
it's a long movie, but the pacing on it is, to me, the pacing's a little hit or miss sometimes.
I thought the pacing was. I thought it was really slow, and I thought like there weren't really like moments that like brought me like in. There were a couple, but it was kind of
I think the slowness was purposeful because in my mind it was more suspenseful for them to walk around and you only see their perspective or you only see their face, and like you're either gonna have a jump scare where they turn around really quickly and then blah 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 is behind them, or like the kid gets his head up off the bed and then looks and sees something in the corner.
Yeah.
But they prolong those scenes because they want your imagination to go crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's even scarier than actually having something like the Poltergeist or like an It, where you actually know it's there and it's something that like you can see.
Yeah.
But your imagination is much more running rampant in this one. So that's kind of what I'm saying.
Well, dude, they were saying
slower because of that.
A lot of people were like comparing it. They were saying it was like a modern day Exorcist, and like
Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, like how like impactful it is on like pop culture and stuff. And I just don't. I don't really see it. Like I don't see this movie I think it will, but I personally don't see this movie having like that big of an impact.
I don't think it. I mean. I don't think it will have that big of an impact either. Although I like the movie a lot, and I liked but my biggest problems are early on the character arcs weren't there for me. Like the connection from starting from her mom down, they needed to develop that just a little bit further so that you can understand 2 hours later what's going on.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the girl to leave the movie that quickly.
Yeah,
I thought they were gonna flesh her out more and have the relationship between the mom and her, because it was supposed to show how they weren't connected at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? There were several scenes where the mom was like, "Oh yeah, go to that party." Obviously, it's a teenager party. She should have known.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're not connected at all. Like not even on the same page. So if they had shown a little bit more, like you said, more fleshed out character arcs between those two. But it's not like something I would nitpick like all day long. It was something that.
Which is weird because the girl in the movie is listed as like she's 13, so as like I don't see like as a parent sending a 13-year-old to like a high school party.
Right. Well, she wasn't. I mean, she had to assume that she had to assume her son was telling the truth, but the reality was you got to. I mean, as a parent.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he said it was like a school event.
He said it was a school barbecue.
Yeah.
And but. If you figure she's trusting him, and the reality is he's not really leading on that she shouldn't be going to this. He didn't try very hard to dissuade her.
Yeah.
And I think the reason for that is because that girl does not have a lot of friends, does not have a lot of acquaintances.
Yeah.
And, I think there was some contention between the mom and him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So.
It also shows the mom just wasn't in touch with either of them. Like,
for
her to be like, so she's so in tune with her work that she's like living in that world, where like she can give the little girl to her. I mean, she should really know. I mean, like at the end of the day, if it was late at night, like it's not like it was a barbecue that was happening in the afternoon. It was like
Yeah,
10 o'clock at night.
because they left
barbecue.
after dinner too. Because they said he was having dinner at
Yeah.
the house, and they
So-
were leaving after.
It just shows like the mom was completely just like taken away from the family. You know?
Yeah, and when Peter got back to the house too after the events, right? All you hear is her voice saying, "Oh, good, they're back," and that's it.
Yeah,
She didn't get up. She's not monitoring where her kids are at, regardless of their ages, and like, oh, how
Yeah.
was the party? Nothing, and then all of a sudden, there's no development of like them even either one of them actually approaching Peter and saying, "What the fuck happened?" You
well, because
know?
they discovered it the next morning, right?
Yeah, when they discovered it when she went out because she was going to take the car to go to the store.
Yeah,
You know, and obviously the body was still there, but I mean, it didn't seem logical at that point that she wouldn't be up saying, "Well, how was the party?" I'm the one that's forcing you, and maybe that's to your point. It's like she was so disconnected. She's like, "I'm just glad they're home,"
yeah.
you know.
I think that she definitely seemed a little off throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Um,
I also don't think that she was even a big fan of her kids at all because
which she also
Yeah,
said
she
too.
said
She
that.
didn't even want it. She tried to have an abortion
Right.
with the first kid
and
with Peter.
like the first time when she said she was sleepwalking when she doused them all in paint
Yeah,
thinner.
that was crazy.
Now, this is something I thought about late. You know, she said that her brother like killed himself and everything, and like her mom was like really like trying to get into his head and stuff like that. We know
Yeah.
why later on, but I think that she just didn't want to have kids because she didn't want to have to put them through what they had already gone through. You know
Yeah,
what I
because
mean?
it
Yeah.
seemed like she had a pretty bad upbringing
So like
too.
it wouldn't even be a problem for her if her kids died. I guess.
I don't know if she was thinking about that from that standpoint. And you're probably right about that. When the first time she went to the therapy class and she opened up deeply,
Yeah,
and you start to, she unravels in a hurry.
Yeah,
about
really
her whole
quickly,
life.
right.
And I'm like, wow, this chick has been through the mill.
yeah,
So to your point, you as a parent, you're probably saying, I just want to protect my kids. I shouldn't be bringing any kids in this world. I'm damaged goods.
yeah,
I don't know how to be a parent. My mom was terrible. So
Yeah.
that's very plausible there.
It really brings back to like the real world like juxtaposition of like, should I bring a child into a world like this, and then I have to deal with it because of my past,
hmm
in my situation. So it's interesting because I never thought that it would come back that she actually meant to kill the kids in the beginning, but like as the movie goes on, I start to think maybe, I mean,
yeah,
obviously she was upset that their daughter died, and she's still kind of weird with her son because he consciously knew what was going on. He was awake when she was above his
Yeah.
bed. So, as the movie goes on, you can kind of see where she's kind of got that resentment. So, but anyway,
What'd you think of the beginning? How it opened up, like because it opened up at the funeral, or at his mother's funeral, or her mother's funeral.
I liked even before that where they zoom into the house, like
Mhm.
the mini house that she's building.
Yeah.
And, it's like it starts to go live. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like that.
that's
I like
cool.
that camera angle work.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're like in the wall. Like
Yeah.
it's like they take out the wall and you're just looking at like the whole room.
Mhm.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yep. But
Would
yeah,
you have liked it if there was like a scene with the actual like mother in the movie, or do you like how they did it with?
I don't think
it
they
was,
had-
it was
I don't
a
think they had to
suspension of
do that.
disbelief
Yeah.
where you can just assume that she was just as crazy as she had said,
Yeah,
and you definitely can see why she tried to distance herself from her because I mean she didn't know about like all the cult stuff. She knew about like rituals and stuff,
yeah,
but she knew something was wrong, and so it kind of brings back to the point where like maybe she thought she could save her kids by keeping them away from her.
hmm
And she saw how her mom affected the brother or her brother and how he killed himself. So maybe that's why he wanted to keep her son away from her.
Well, she wasn't
the
trying to
girl
keep
was-
she wasn't trying to keep the daughter away from the mother
Right.
or the grandmother.
Yeah.
Because she even said to her daughter that you always were like grandma's favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you had a special bond. There was obviously at the end we know why there was a special bond there.
Yeah.
I think it was like if the grandma didn't have the son or the brother, then she had to have at least one of them.
Yeah.
And since she wanted to protect the boy more, she just gave her the daughter, and the daughter turned out to be obviously like her like brainchild essentially. You know what I mean? Like the grandma
Yeah.
ended up doing the rituals on the girl, and she was the one that was harvesting like the demon. That's kind of how I saw it.
Yeah, I did not
Because-
expect it to be like a demon movie.
But all that stuff could happen because Paimon is actually like
Payman.
Paimon is actually the like king of hell.
Yeah.
So it's really rooted in like reality. Well, reality in terms of like
absolutely.
biblical reality, but it's
Yeah.
pretty interesting. And that scares you even more because it's like, yeah, okay, there's some supernatural stuff, but at the end of the day, it's really just a bunch of Satanists.
Yeah.
That are, you know. And
well, I mean, you're
extreme,
you're fooling yourself if you think they're not out there now.
Well, no.
I mean, there's definitely cults that are into this that would objectify demons in that way. It's just a matter of weeding them out. But I mean, the thing that I was a little confused, or not confused. I was disappointed with Gabriel Byrne because he's a good actor and he didn't really get a chance to expand on anything. It was really just he was dead.
I feel like that's what his like. I feel like his character in the movie, that was like his role, because like the movie wasn't really about him. Like he really didn't have a purpose except for to be there and be like a supporting, like to comfort his wife when the daughter died and when her mother died. Like the movie wasn't really about him, and he didn't really he wasn't going to be possessed by anything.
Yeah, and you know what?
So
you know what he could be like. You know how in Christopher Nolan movies where he like does like very meta stuff, like Inception is like all the characters in Inception represent like someone on a movie set. You know what I'm saying?
No, what do you mean?
Well, we'll do that when we do Inception, but I think that the Gabriel Byrne character was supposed to be the audience because he's going along with everything like no way.
He's just like freaked out.
There's no way. Like he knows nothing. He's on the outside, but he also is like the most scared at some point. Yeah. Like the points where we were scared, you know what I mean? Yeah. Where like the mom is just completely batshit by like even like the first act of the movie. So it takes you away. I mean, Peter could be the audience, but then he gets like demonized. So like a total third party.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have been Peter because he was more of a character development from the standpoint of how that eventually evolved. So maybe you're right about that from his character because he was like he's like that stuff you get that gets in the corner of your mouth, you know, the white stuff. He was just there.
Yeah,
he was just there.
Just kind of reacted to stuff. No, but yeah, he's a good actor. He probably should have gotten a bigger. I mean,
but it could have been by design because you're right. Maybe because it wasn't his side of the family. It wasn't anything had to do with him. And he was just there trying to keep everything together.
I like what you said, too, about like him representing the audience because if you look at like Peter's character, every time like he would Peter or the mother, anytime they would freak out, it's because like they know what's going on. And then Gabriel Byrne's character, he would freak out it's because he wouldn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Or like he would look at them as like they're acting crazy.
Yeah.
And us as the audience, like we don't really know what's going on until the end.
Right.
So we kind of have like similar. We're like in like the similar situation.
And I think they also like upend your belief of everything too when he burns, like when he catches on fire.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
I think it was just like the book protecting like the way that everything was supposed to happen.
So
like,
he
was the only person that was trying to stop it.
Yeah.
Like
it had to take place. The event had to take place. So if he was going to stop it, it wouldn't have taken place.
But so why did when she first tried to burn it, why did she catch on fire?
That's why I was confused at first. But I just thought maybe it was like trying to trick her into like keeping the book. Mm-hmm. Like for whatever reason, like obviously the book is important because it's like the link between them. So it's important to stay like alive. But they didn't need him. So I think that getting him out of the picture by doing that was just like the easiest thing to do.
So my question then is, so you know how like if you're trying to if you're trying to like summon a demon or a spirit or anything, it has to have a host. Mm-hmm. And after the grandma died, the host was then the daughter, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And then after the daughter died, what did it transfer to?
The son.
I don't think it was this. It didn't transfer to the son until the very end.
Yeah.
No, but
and then the mother got possessed after.
Actually, no.
After the father burned.
No, it couldn't. Yeah, it couldn't go in the son because it needed Peter's body to be into a male body.
Yeah.
That was not towards the end. It went into the mother. The first time that she tried to conjure up when she brought in the dad and Peter into the living room. Right there, when you heard the daughter's voice in the background, it went into her at that point.
Okay.
And when did it change from her to him?
Because I read something that you remember how when she threw the book into the fire, and Peter's not Peter. What was the husband's name? Husband?
Dad.
When Dad's body went up in
Oh, yeah.
flames, you saw her face. She's like crying, and she's like, but then she just goes, and then she's like scream, like she's like in like anguish, and like she's just like in shock, and her face just like goes to like nothing. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Because they said that's when she becomes possessed is when her face just like goes to nothing.
Yeah.
When she goes back to a straight face.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is when Peter in the schoolroom when he was sitting in the class and he raised his hand. Remember?
Yes.
In that instance, and his face was all messed up.
Yes.
To me, because right before then you saw the light come through the classroom, so that may have been where it transferred. At least needed the host, but he needed the actual body.
Yes.
Physical body. Yeah.
And then it does when Peter jumps out the window towards the end, and he's laying on the ground, and then you see the light.
I think he dies there.
He does die there.
Because I think it needs to take over like a very weak male
So
host.
you saw right after that when he's laying face down.
You see the light go into him.
Before the light going to him, you see his soul depart. The black image left. The soul departs, and then the light comes in.
Yeah, I think that was just an imagery thing because the mom was floating up to the treehouse.
Yeah.
But makes sense. I mean, it does. It actually did come like right from his body to.
Because if you remember, if you guys ever saw Ghost, right, with Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze, that's exactly how it would happen, right? So when you die, and this was in that movie, when you die, your soul departs from you, it detaches from your physical being, right?
Yes.
And what happens is if you're going to hell, there are black shadowy images that are supposed to come and pull your soul to hell, as opposed to, I'm not going to say the white light or anything else like that, where your body, your spirit floats higher, right? As opposed to being dragged down. So in this instance, not to say that Peter was going to hell, but the black imagery, the shadowing, to me represented the fact that his body was dead.
Yeah.
His soul was departing, and now it was open to be a host to Pullman or Palmer.
Yeah.
Pomeranian, whatever it was.
Pomegranate. Yeah. But I feel like that's something that like a lot of people would probably miss at first.
Yeah,
like I missed the black part.
Yeah, so this is definitely why
I saw it, but I didn't think about it like that. I thought it as the mom's body's shadow because she was floating. She floated from the top of the roof after she cut her head off.
Oh,
she floated from the top down and across up into the.
Yeah.
The problem is we don't see anybody else die. Really, we saw the father die. We don't really see him die. We see him catch on fire, but then the next cutaway scene he comes back. He's laying on the ground, so we don't really see
no head though.
That's true.
Yeah.
But we don't really see him.
Oh, yeah.
His spirit being departed. That's interesting. I need to see that again because that black imagery, if it's indeed a shadow of her flying over that, then that makes sense too. I didn't look at it that way. That's why I'm saying I need to see this movie a couple more times to really kind of
But either way,
catch the things I missed.
Either way, when he got up, he did the clicking noise.
Yeah.
So that was the sign that he was now fully.
Oh yeah. So when the daughter was doing that the whole time after the grandma died.
Yeah.
She was possessed.
Well, we don't even know what she was doing before the grandma died, but yeah.
Yeah, but like the clicking noise, I feel like.
I mean, that could have been just a ticking. That could have just been like an awkward tick.
I don't know, dude.
But it also could have been like the. Well, in this case, I think it is like to show like how you transfer between. The two, you know, because there would be no other way for you to tell from any other mannerism. So it was kind of like that distinct thing that showed like that you were possessed. The mom never did it though, so that's one thing.
Yeah, that's true. She didn't do it.
So that's why I don't know. I mean. I think it was.
So where was Pullman or Palman? What Payman?
Payman.
Where was Payman during the time when the daughter had died?
That was my question.
Until it possesses Peter.
That was my question.
I thought it just went right into him right away because he was the closest one there when she died. So that because they were trying.
But then it was just dormant then in him.
Didn't take any action because when she finally gets the father and the son, she wakes the son up. In the middle of the night to do that seance.
Yeah. He
was very reluctant and skittish about it, not because I think he was possessed, but because I think he didn't believe.
Yeah.
Like he just didn't understand. And then there's got to be something during that particular scene with the daughter's voice, because it was clear in the background something had happened about that.
Yeah, there's definitely a movie you have to watch over. You have to watch multiple times. Yeah. Especially that seance scene, and then the last like 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. Those are like two like important scenes in the movie that I feel like I know I probably missed a lot on it.
Some of the stuff that confused me were like the people that were watching the whole time, like that were part of the cult.
Yeah.
Like they were there a lot. Like, what's her name? Joan.
Yeah.
When she first got in contact with her at the place, and then when he's at school and that lady's yelling at him across the street.
To say get out.
Yeah.
But in what reference was she saying to get out? Because it doesn't make sense. Like I can see if it was in the daughter's body saying you need a male body, not so get out. So why is she saying that, Peter? I didn't get why she's screaming get out. Was it get out of school?
And maybe imagine like she wasn't even talking to Peter. Like she was talking to Payman.
That could be it.
Maybe. Oh, maybe. Oh, maybe.
Well, I thought that's what you were saying.
Maybe.
Because if she was saying, like, get out to the daughter, she's speaking to Payman, but Payman's in the daughter.
Maybe those are angels.
Huh.
Right? So she's trying to protect Peter, who's an innocent bystander at this point. Those are angels to try to get Pullman or Payman out of Peter. I just don't know if it was in Peter.
Possibly, but that was the only time that you saw anybody say anything against it. Everybody that, including Joni, that was like in the background scenes of everything, was there in the treehouse at the end. That was worshiping him.
She was the one that put the crown on his head.
Yeah.
Correct. So I think they were all a part of the grandma's cult originally, and they were all Satanists, and then they were worshiping her because they called her the queen.
Yeah.
So she had it in her when she was alive.
The grandma.
Yep. And when she died, she passed it along to the girl because, like, early on, they were like, she had her, what they called hooks in her. Right?
Yeah.
Passed on to the girl. From the girl, when she died, I think, just went right into the boy, but since he wasn't vulnerable enough yet, it didn't take him over. Like in the book, it said it has to be a vulnerable male host.
Had to beat him down.
Yeah, and as it went along, it kind of was like all like this big plan where like he killed the daughter, and as he like continued on and everything got worse, he became more vulnerable and weak, and it took him over when he was in school that one day.
Yeah.
So all the series of events, his mom going crazy, then him waking up, she's standing over him again. He's constantly thinking and sitting in fear. And from a depression standpoint and an anxiety standpoint, he's as low as he could possibly go at that point in school. I mean, you look at his face; it's solemn. He has no expression whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, bam, his hand goes up, and he just gets.
Yeah, and then when he looks at the glass next to him, and like the reflection is like
him smiling,
a demonic smile at him.
Yeah, but that's why, since I think it's a whole big plan, that's why I think that Dad had to die, because he was going to call the cops, and he was going to get everything screwed up. So like this whole big plan was leading up to Payman taking over the son, and then worshiping him. The only thing that was going to stand in the way was the dad. So he had to die.
But the mother becomes possessed though.
I think she does it herself though. Like I think she like drives herself to that. Well, she does get possessed because obviously she's fucking floating. But
yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, yeah. Then
I don't know. I don't know what you.
That one scene and that towards the end there, that to me was probably the weakest part of the film because it wasn't necessary.
The floating part.
Well, yeah, when she's hiding above in the room and she's looking down, and then all of a sudden she's gone, and to me it wasn't necessary because it didn't fit the rest of the movie. To me, it didn't fit the rest of the movie at all.
So unless you're missing something weird.
So I guess my take on it would be that when the father burns or catches on fire, Payman jumps from the son's body or wherever he is to her body. Because remember, he wakes up and he's all frantic. Like, I feel like if he was possessed, he wouldn't be all frantic like that. And he wouldn't, like, run up into the attic.
Oh, yeah, because he hit his head.
He wouldn't jump out the window.
But he was...
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, he was frantic, though.
Like
he was very calm, even leading into that scene. He was calm, even as he saw his dad burnt alive.
Did he know it was his dad, though?
Yeah, I mean...
He probably did, but...
I
think he felt it on the back of his neck when he felt his mom behind him.
Yeah.
As he starts to turn, and then she quickly, scurries away.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I don't understand. At what point did it switch, and where was it within the last 20 minutes? Obviously, it ended up in him.
Yeah.
But
at what point? Because
maybe it left him and went back with him after he died. But it doesn't make sense because the whole point was for him to be weak so that it could start to take him over until he actually died, or I don't know.
Well, then see that, and then that's where it makes sense for me that it's in her.
Yeah.
Because she cuts her own head off.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's not in him yet because he's still shutting her out. Remember, he locked the door in like that, and now he's starting to figure things out. Sees the body, sees everything. and he sees all the people surrounding, and then watches her cut her head off as he jumps out the window and then dies there. Now he's as vulnerable as you can get. He's dead.
Yeah.
So as she's floating by, maybe that's the point. She's floating by. The white light goes into him, and then he gets up.
Goes from her to him as she floats by.
Because he was as calm as can be walking to that treehouse at that point. I mean, he was
so
dead.
he had to have been.
Yeah.
Well,
At that point,
At
yeah.
that point, once he makes that clean noise, he's 100%.
Yeah.
That could be it.
It's possible.
I think that could be it. Because, in my mind, the only reason that wouldn't be for me is why he was, like, beating himself up in class. And, like, was that the beginnings of him starting to get possessed by, like, I don't know if it could be in two places.
Maybe that was, whatever, like, maybe that was his soul, like, the good part of him trying to, beat up and kick out the payment.
Yeah, that could be it.
Get a reaction from him.
She was trying to beat himself up to, like,
yeah, that could be it. But yeah.
But yeah, so I was talking to one of my buddies about it, because he's seen this before, and he made a good point, and he was like, a lot of, like, the big, like, pivotal scenes and plot points of the movie, there's, like, I feel like within the movie, like, it just keeps going. Like, there's no, like, reaction from, like when the daughter, like, her head, gets decapitated or whatever, like, the son stops the car, but he just drives away, goes home, and he acts like nothing happens.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. It's like, and
I think he was just so distraught from that. I don't know.
Yeah, but still, I mean.
Well, then even later with the, he also said the ending just kind of, like, came out of nowhere.
I see a lot of reviews that are saying that too. It's like, people are who,
like, I would say it goes from 0 to 100 really quickly.
Yeah, well, not really quickly because it is drawn out. It's more like 0 to 5, and then 5 to 7, and then goes back to 6, and then
then to
100. 15. Yeah,
I think a lot of people were expecting, like, one final, like, explanation where you didn't have to think through it.
Yeah,
you know, I think a lot of people that watch horror movies that would review that are waiting for, like, that It finale where they finally kill the clown or whatever. You know what I mean? Where they have like a finale where they can be at peace with it. But, like, this one, you have to think through. Because you don't want to have to think through another, like, couple more minutes of a scary movie. You know what I mean? You want to be kind of, like, done with it.
Well, this is a movie where the bad guy wins.
Yeah,
essentially.
True.
Which is not really commonplace in Hollywood now.
That's true. That's a good point.
Infinity War.
So.
Yeah.
But see, I look at this movie to me reminds me a lot like Psycho. So it reminds me a lot like Psycho. So the suspense on that, there's no real. It's not like a real scare tactic. It's just ultimately suspense and leading it up to that, and kind of a crescendo methodology there. But I thought the movie was interesting. And something I definitely want to.
Is it a movie that was on, like, your radar to watch before?
Never heard of it.
Really?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, because I've wanted to watch this for a while.
It's been on my radar.
But I've heard it was, like, really scary.
I don't think it was really scary.
No, yeah, I don't think.
I thought it was thought provoking because you really because these are real characters, in pagan I guess
it does like you said, because, like, I mean, you don't really think about it, but, like, this is at the end of the day a very realistic movie.
Yep.
Because I feel like.
And sometimes that's the scariest part. And maybe that's why people thought it was so scary.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it really could happen other than the real paranormal stuff. But you never know.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So.
I think one of the shots or one of, like, the transitions that I really liked in the movie was, like, towards the end. After they bring Peter home and they lay him in bed and whatnot. And then it goes, like, from daytime in the house. And it clicks to night, and you see all the naked bodies around the yard. I thought that was pretty cool.
I don't remember. I didn't remember seeing that.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
From the exterior of the house.
Yes. You see, like, the yard and everything.
Yeah, were there naked bodies out there?
Well, not in the daytime.
Oh,
but in daytime,
no. When they click on that nighttime scene, though.
Well, yeah, like
during the movie, you'd see them.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I don't remember that. Oh, okay.
You don't remember that?
No, I remember that scene where they click from day to night.
It goes from day to night, and there's, like, 20 naked white bodies
I don't remember
just surrounding the house. It's
all right.
It's really creepy.
Okay.
No, I don't. I think I was looking at the house more than.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's when I knew, like, all right, so this is it.
Well, that can definitely happen. That happened the last toga party. So.
Oh, back at your Stetson days.
Back in the days.
Your Pike days?
Yeah, my Pike days. How did you know about it was a Pike?
You told me like 50 times.
I don't remember.
All right, let's go over some fun facts. $10 million budget. Opening weekend, any guesses?
Probably like 5, 8.
13.5.
That's not bad.
Domestic gross 44 and 80 for worldwide. A lot of horror movies don't really get a lot of Oscar noms. But if you really wanted to think about like editing or like cinematography or anything like that, like sound editing or sound design, I think they could get in there. But they didn't get any Oscar noms. And also Toni Collette. Hats off to her for a great performance. Absolutely.
Is that your moniker? Hats off to her.
That's our tagline.
Hats off to her.
I remember seeing something about her, like her age. Like I think before this movie, she had told her agent she didn't really want to accept any like serious dramatic roles.
She wanted to do more art house stuff.
She wanted, or just more like lighthearted, not like comedic, but lighthearted roles.
Yeah.
But I guess after reading the script, she was really sold on it.
Yeah.
And then she's in a new Netflix movie, which is not similar to this. It looks like a cross between like this and like Get Out.
Is it?
But it's like, I guess it like she's like.
I'm thinking of Anythings. No.
Yes. Yes. Okay. But I don't know. Maybe this has changed her her decision on or how she. Maybe she's going to be accepting more.
Jesse Plemons.
Accepting more dramatic roles. I don't know.
Well, yeah, she started with Sixth Sense, and then she's really been kind of in like that art house.
Yeah, she's been very artsy.
Indie film type situation. Which
Little Miss Sunshine.
I got to give another hats off to the A24 for this movie because always been a big A24 fan. Lighthouse, Good Time.
Yeah, they're good. They got good movies.
Uncut Gems, just really good stuff. And obviously, Ari Aster, the director, also did Midsommar.
But
that's on my list too.
After he did this first,
but that's also an A24, so good stuff for A24. They've been really doing well lately.
Yeah, I mean,
what else?
I think that we covered a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean,
do you have anything else to add? What was your nickname again? I'm sorry.
Come on, Harry McNickers, man. Come on now. Right. You remember I'm a Pike. You can certainly remember that.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
The only thing I want to add is I need to see it again.
Yeah.
And probably relatively soon so that I don't forget certain things. Yeah. But I want to see it because now I'll focus on certain aspects of it that I either have an inclination or an inkling about what happened or some kind of theory, and I want to see if it kind of pans out. But
yeah.
Who would you recast? Anybody?
No.
Would you give like Peter like a bigger role? Like, would you give it to somebody more popular, or would you keep it?
No, I mean, I thought he did good in it.
Yeah.
Nat Wolff.
Yeah.
Naked Brothers Band.
Yeah.
It's the only other thing I've seen of him.
That's all I know him from.
You probably haven't seen that.
No.
That's a Nickelodeon show.
No.
I think this movie's too recent to like think about recasting.
Yeah, that's true.
Too recent to think about it.
That is true.
Yeah, it's definitely a movie you have to see more than once, and
yeah, I'm just a big fan of like leaving like I don't watch a lot of horror movies, but like I said in the beginning, leaving a scene up to the imagination of someone, especially someone with a crazy imagination that could imagine some really really dark crazy shit.
Yeah,
that is what is scary. That is I think it's like to each his own for this movie, where like there are absolutely objectively scary times, scary moments, but the suspense and the creativity and like leaving it up to the viewer is what's really like the thing that matters in it.
Look, it's like someone would maybe look at like her sawing her own head off as scary,
right?
Or someone else might look at it as like, well, there's the possibility of this act like of a demon having the capability. Of doing this is the scarier part. So yeah, it's a tit for tat.
And also the girl that plays her, I think her name's Millie Shapiro.
Yeah.
She's gonna have a good career. I think she's gonna play probably a lot of like scary people. I mean, she's got an interesting look to her. There wasn't a lot of prosthetics on that, so she was kind of born for the role. And then good old Gabriel Byrne coming in.
Big fan.
Big fan. And that leads us into our next week's viewing that we might want to consider.
Yeah, we don't have a set movie yet.
Yeah,
but...
well, it's my choice for next movie or next week, but since we watched Gabriel Byrne in this movie, I think it's time to do a 25-year anniversary of The Usual Suspects.
Oh.
For next week on the Hats Off podcast.
All right. We'll thank our special guest, Pike's very own.
There you go.
Harry McNickers.
Yes, sir. And always welcome back. We'll see you next time.
On the Hats Off podcast.
Said I got to get you.